everyone. Well, it's time for an installment of some cooking with me. It's been a long time and it's actually the first time I cook something on video in the new place. So yeah, what are we gonna do today? Well, it's a dish I found from a movie, a Danish movie with some, well, from a good old Danish movie from back in the day, in the 60s, 70s. So yeah, it's a bit of a fatty dish, but tastes good, and yeah, it's a nice dish, easy to make. So let's talk about the ingredients. You will need some broth, about a liter or so, around 200 grams of bacon. I've chosen home sliced bacon. I made it myself, chopped it up from a piece of smoked bacon ham. Some beef cut into pieces for goulash. You can buy something like that here in Denmark. So a goulash mix thing for that with no spices or anything in it. Some apples, which are finely diced and cut. Some vegetables, bell pepper, mushroom, champignons, and some carrots. You need some onions as well, and last but not least, this little thing here, like a tomato puree base, and some spices, salt, pepper, and some, I'm trying this one today, some herb de Provence. So yeah, and last but not least, it actually needs, it's not a, it's whatever you want to do. You can do it without it, or you can do it with, but you can do, I mostly use it with red wine or a strong beer. It depends on what mood I'm in. Today I bought myself a little bottle of wine for that, so I'm gonna use a good glug of that as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin prepping. Yes, start off by, I think I used a bit too small of a pan. Start up by shearing, by roasting this up, as well as the meat in the other side. I ground it off for just a wee bit. I'm using a bit of oil in this pan over here because on this little pan, not a pan, a pot. So just shearing this off, and bacon is starting to sear up now. Let's just boost it up to 3. So I'm gonna use medium high to high heat on the shearing off of this, and then I need onions. I need some more here. So yeah, just sear it off in the pan and in the pot. And ready up the other ingredients. You can see the meat over here is a bit more cooked and seared, so but it just has to get like seared a bit on the outside. And as this cooks away nicely, all of this nice sizzling bacon, you can pour this over the meats over here, because it's beginning to get ready to cook. So let me see if I can, whoop, over there. So this is almost seared off and ready, so I am gonna add the broth. Remember, about a liter. I used about 800 milliliters of this one for this one this time, but I always like add some additional water if I want more water to it. And plus we have the Plus we have the wine we have to put in it. For mine it's wine. You can use whatever you want. You can also omit it or say no and don't use wine or anything and just add some water or yeah, whatever you want. So I'm just gonna sear this off for a bit longer, just a wee bit longer. And yeah, just waiting for that to get done and this to cook, this to get to the boiling point, which it is getting close to now, so I can turn it a bit down because it has to simmer for a bit. So yeah, the bacon is now done, so let's put that in there as well, grease and all. And yes, this is not a dish for people who are afraid of a bit of meat and fat and whatnot. It's you can do a veggie option, I'm sure of it, but I actually like to make something with a bit of a meaty bite to it, to be honest. But you can try and make it yourself with some veggie meats if you want to, and please tell me the results of it if how it turns out. I'm just gonna add a bit more of water to this and just wait for it to cook up so I can let it simmer a bit. Maybe up to 2 from now, like so. With this now boiling, you add the onions, a couple of onions, or about 2 onions. Yeah, about 2 small onions. Put that in, and the apple. Some of the tomato paste. Oh, there's still some left in the bottom, and I lost something on some of it on the floor. If you cook, you can make an omelette without breaking a few eggs. So yeah, this is just mix it all up a bit, like so. Then you add your spices. Mind you, you can use, actually the original recipe says for using paprika. But since I don't have much paprika, and I know, yeah, that's a whole lot of pepper. But I like pepper, I'm like a pepperaholic. And you add some pepper, and you add some salt. And some, I'm gonna add today instead, add some of this, some garlic pepper. Dried garlic and pepper. Like so. Just like that. There it is. And yeah, sure, we add a bit of this, yes. A bit of herb de Provence. This is actually a new thing I'm gonna try today. Adding some of this herb de Provence, like a French herb mix. So that's gonna get a wee bit of that, like so. And then stir it around a bit. Wait for it to, well, put the lid on it. And then let it simmer away on medium to medium-low heat. After about 10 minutes, you actually add the rest of the vegetables in there, like the carrots and the champignon and the diced bell peppers, and stir it a bit. And as far as I can see right now, I need a wee bit more moisture in there. And this is where the red wine and a bit more water comes into play. Let's see if I can open the red wine here. So, red wine is now open. And I usually just give it a good glug. Like so. Yeah, a bit more. About half a bottle of wine, and if you have a beer bottle of the same size, I would recommend for the beer. I would recommend something strong, like a porter, because it has a bit of more bite and it actually tastes better with cooking in mind, because it is like a it has a bit more, not that bitter taste to it. I don't know, but it's like I've tried with some light ales and stuff, and it didn't do the same, to be honest, for me. Might be a different experience for you lot, but for me, I have to do it like this. So, well, without further ado, lid on again and let it simmer away for about another 10 to 20 minutes. It's now been standing for about 20 minutes first, and then I made something to make the sauce a bit thicker, a thickening thing with just some flour and some water. So this is now just cooking up now for the final time. So now I'm gonna get the heat down to 0 and get this food situated. Ain't this looking scrumptious? The sauce is a bit thin maybe, but a bit to the thin side. But I'll also say it like this: when you're doing it with some rice or something by the sides, I actually like it a bit thinner, the sauce. So it's actually quite nice to cook it like that. And again, it's just like whatever your preferences are, you'll do it your way. And the only thing I'm doing is just giving them general recipe idea for what is my general plan with this cooking stuff. You can do whatever kind of way you want it. Either way, if you want to make it with chicken or something else, just make it vegan. Just make it as a vegetarian option. It's all up to you. It's all up to you, the cook. I'm just giving you some general basics to how I do it, and yeah, this is looking scrumptious. And yeah, let's get this thing on a plate. Dish is now ready. Let's give it a final taste, shall we? Let's dig in. And it's piping hot as well, so not too shabby this time. Not too shabby. This is actually quite good now, this time around. Yum yum. And there's still a bit of chew in the meat, so let's try a piece of the You know what? That gets a proper thumbs up job. Sorry, my messy finger. It's like when you're cooking, you're making a bit of a mess. But yeah, all in all, this dinner was scrumptious. Or is gonna be scrumptious. So, without further ado, I hope you enjoyed the cooking video. And this is what it turned out as. I'll put the recipe in the description of the video. And yeah, without further ado, bon appetit, and until next time. Bye bye.